from RTO. Welcome to Monday. And as usual on a Monday, we do our little story, and we're now up to, I think it's part 7 of the Van Morrison story, and we're going to look today at his albums he released during the 2010s. Quite a lot of cover stuff during the 2010s. 8 albums in all. I would say it's one of my least favourite periods of Van Morrison. There are a couple of highlights though. So, coming in at number 8, we have an album released on the 2015, and it's called Duets, Reworking the Catalogue. It was his 35th studio album, and basically it's him doing duos with the stars of his stuff. So the first one he does is Some Peace of Mind with Bobby Womack. It's okay, nothing special. If I Ever Needed Someone, it's not a bad version of this song, and he does this with Mavis Staples. Higher Than the World, I'm not a great fan of George Benson, so I don't like this song at all, although it's one of Van's. Doesn't do anything for me. Wild Honey, love this song anyway, and he does it with Joss Stone, who's a great singer anyway, and it's one of the best songs on the album. Carrying a Torch, no, we'll skip one, so we'll go back to that. Whatever Happened to PJ Proby with PJ Proby. The only thing good on here is the flute. Then he does with Claire Teal, Carrying a Torch, it's not bad. Then with Gregory Porter, The Internal Kansas City, it's alright. Streets of Arklow with Mick Hucknall, oh dear, terrible. These Are the Days with Natalie Cole, alright. Then with Georgie Fame, he gets Get On with the Show, good version, they've worked together before, it's pretty good. Ruff Goes Riding with his daughter Shana, it's pretty good, they sing well together. Fire in the Belly with Stevie Winwood, it's alright. Born to Sing, which he does with Chris Farlow, and it's probably one of the best ones on the album as well. Irish Heartbeat with Mark Knopfler, just love Mark Knopfler's guitar on that. Then he does Real Gone with Michael Bublé. But my favourite track on here is How Can a Poor Boy with Taj Mahal. Absolutely brilliant version of this song. Yeah, that's definitely my favourite track on the album. This one's alright. It's just duos. So I'm going to give it an RTO ranking of 5 out of 10. Coming in at number 7 from 2017 is Versatile. The album consists of some originals, both new and older, mixed with jazz standards. Playing on here, we've got Van Morrison, Jay Berliner, Dave Keary, Paul Moore, Paul Moran, Sir James Galway's on here, Christopher White, and loads of other people. So the first track is Broken Record, which is one of Van's. It's got that salty 40s feel to it. It's not a bad song. Then he does A Foggy Day, written by George Gershwin and performed by Fred Astaire. I don't like this version. I do prefer the original if given the choice. Let's Get Lost is a jazz track first performed by Mary Martin in the film 1943 Happy Go Lucky. It's not a bad version of it, and it's quite a pleasant song. Then he does Bye Bye Blackbird, which this goes back to 1926. I've sang this. It's not a bad version, I suppose. Then we have the Skyboat song, which goes back to the 19th century. It's nice. The piano's good on that. Take It Easy Baby, one of Van's new ones. I'd say it's the favourite of mine on here. It's got a nice jazzy guitar on it. Making Whoopee from 1928. Couldn't find an original version of it, but it's alright. I Get a Kick Out of You, the great Cole Porter song. A lot of people have played this. It's okay. Forgotten That Love Existed. It's okay. Unchained Melody. Now, I'm not a great fan of this song, and this is way too slow. Anyway, Started all over. Another rehash of one of his songs. Do we need it? Not really. Then another song that he redone, Only a Dream. Nah. Affirmation. It's all right. The Party's Over, which is another song. This is from the 50s. It's a musical comedy play called The Bells Are Ringing, and Julie Halliday did it. It's all right. I Left My Heart in San Francisco. There's only one man that can sing this in my books, and that's Tony Bennett. Then we have another George Gershwin song that Fred Astaire done. I've heard the original, and nah, this is certainly better than The Foggy Day, but it's not that much. Oh dear, it's all right. I just found it a little bit bare, so I'm going to give it an RTO ranking of 5.5. Okay, coming in at number 6, his 40th album, and it's his second album that he did with the trumpeter Joey DeFrancesco. And this is from 2018, and it's called The Prophet Speaks. So you got Van and Joey. Joey plays organ and keyboards and trumpet. Van Morrison does the vocals, alto, sax and harmonica. Dan Wilson plays guitars. Troy Roberts bass. Michael Ode on drums. Jim Stern tambourine. And Shana Morrison does some backing vocals. The first track on here is Gonna Send Me Back Where You Come From, which was written by Eddie Vinson and Leona Blackman. It's not a bad track, actually. I don't mind that. Dimples, which is a John Lee Hooker song. It's not a bad version of it. Got to Go Where Love Is. Solid track. Nothing wrong with that one. Good vocal from Van on that one, I must admit. Laughing and Clowning from Sam Cooke. It's a good version. Solomon Burke wrote this. It's not too bad. 5 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. I love Joey's trumpet on this. Fantastic. Then there's another Solomon Burke song. Gotta Get Off of My Mind. Good version of this song, I must admit. Teardrops, which is by J.D. Harris. Very good version of this. It's not too bad. Then we have a Willie Dixon number. I Love the Life I Live. Another good song. Then we've got Worried Blues and Rolling Tom and J.D. Harris. Pretty cool. Ain't Gonna Mow No More. I love the keyboards on this. Love Is a 5-letter word from Jean Barge. Unfortunately, it sounds the same as everything else. Love Is a Hard Work. Bit bland. Same with the Spirit Will Provide. My favourite track on here, it's got a bit of a Latino swing. And I love the piano, and it's a good vocal from Van Morrison. The Prophet Speaks, very monotonous. Okay, this is pleasant, but my only criticism is it all sounds the same. Every track's got the same. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 6 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 5 from 2018 is the first album he did with American jazz organist trumpeter Joey DeFrancesco, and it's called You're Driving Me Crazy. Same again, Van Morris, same lineup as the other one. So we've got first track is a Cole Porter number, Miss Otis Regrets. Probably the worst song on here. It's you can hardly understand Van Morrison. He sings like he's got a cold. Not very good. Hold It Right There. An old track. It's got an up tempo. It's got some nice backing vocals on it, I must admit, which gives it that extra depth. All Saints Day. Love the Hammond organ on this here from Joey. Really, really good. Not bad. The Way Young Lovers Do. The drum beats. Nothing is the same as the rest. It's not what the band's doing. He's on his own thing, the drummer on here, Michael. He's not paying attention. And then the things that used to do for Guitar Slim. It's got some nice guitar, but the drums are not very good. Travelling Light. Sax is good on that. I don't mind that. Close Enough for Jazz, just standard. It's okay. Goldfish Bowl is quite a bluesy thing. It's a little bit long, but it's not too bad. Evening Shadows. It's got a little bit of Acapulco on it. It's not too bad. Magic Time, which is an old one of his own tracks. The muted trumpet is pretty good. You're Driving Me Crazy. I like the jazzy guitar. Every Day I Have the Blues, standard. Have I Told You Lately? Love this song. I love the saxophone on this. It's really good. I like his daughter doing the backing vocals. Sticks and Stones, great vocal from Van Morrison on this. And Celtic Swing is alright. Certainly the best of the two albums he did with Joey Francisco. There's a little bit more to this one, so I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 6.3. Okay, coming in at number 4, 37th album that he released on the 22nd of September 2017. And it's called Roll with the Punches. Lots of people on here, but the main person to play the guitar on there is the incredible legend Jeff Beck. It's also got Georgie Fame on it. It's got Paul Moran on Hammond organ, Paul Jones from Manfred Mann on harmonica, and last but not least, Chris Farlow on vocals. So Roll the Punches, a great track, great bluesy thing, a little bit of saxophone on, I really like that. Transformation, my favourite track on here. Love the guitar work from Mr. Beck, great vocal as well, super stuff. Then we have a Bo Diddley song, How Can I Tell? Good version of it, don't mind that. Then they do Stormy Weather and Lonely Avenue, which is T-Bone Wall to the Stormy Monday and Lonely Avenue Doc Pumice. I love this. I love Lonely Avenue. Ian Gillan and Roger Glover did a version of that, which was in the Rain Man. Fantastic song. Going to Chicago, the Camp Biaz classic. Great song. Love that. Fame, pretty good track. It's an original song. Great vocal from Van. Too Much Trouble, classic sounding. The horns are great. The guitar from Jeff's good. Bring It On Home to Me, Sam Cooke number, pretty good song. Does a great version. Got Rick Parfitt doing that. That was good as well. Ordinary People, some great guitar work here from Jeff Beck. Then we have How Far From God, the Sister Rosetta Tharpe track. I love the honky tonk piano on this, and the guitar work, of course, is absolutely brilliant. Teardrops From My Eyes, a Rudy Toombs number, another classic soul track, brilliant. Automobile Blues from Samuel Hopkins. And this is Paul Jones on the harmonica, and what a great piece of harmonica playing from the man himself. Benediction, the Moose Allison track. He always does good versions of Moose Allison tracks, and that's good. Then another T-Bone Walker, Old Bean World, which is pretty cool. Paul Jones again, stars on the harmonica. Bit more Bo Diddley on Ride On Josephine. Absolutely killer version of that. Now, this is not a bad album. Jeff Beck is the highlight. It's a pretty decent album, so I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 6.6. Okay, coming in at number 3 from 2016. His 36th album is called Keep Me Singing. Lots of people playing on here. So we got Let It Rhyme, the first track. Love the harmonica on this. It's another really strong vocal from Van. Although the albums are pretty weak, his vocals have not been on these albums. Every Time I See a River, another nice song. His vocals are still the same, really good. Keep Me Singing, I do like this one. It's a nice tempo to it. Out in the Cold again, a little bit long, but it has got a nice acoustic guitar piece in it and some nice piano work as well. Just wait this. Up next is Memory Lane. Now this is really going back to the 70s style Van Morrison. One of my favourite songs on the album. But my favourite track on the album is The Pen Is Mightier Than the Sword. It's just got a great groove to it. I love the vocal delivery from Van. I love the drums on this. It's one of the best tracks probably of this period. Then we got Holy Guardian Angel. Least favourites. We've gone from the best to the worst. It plods along. It's 6 minutes and it's really boring. Share Your Love With Me. Pleasant Enough Tom. It's got a nice melody. And then In Tilburon. Nice It's a nice piano piece, some nice drums on it as well. Look Behind the Hill, one of the shorter tracks, but it's one of my favourite. I love the percussion on this one. Going Down to Bangor, it's certainly got that 70s feel to it. Another of my favourites on the album. Too Late, another short track, very quirky keyboard in that. The last track, Caledonia Sing, it's a good track to end the album. I do love the keyboards, it's quirky, I love the swing to this. It's got a great violin solo on it as well. Now this isn't a bad album. There's a few tracks I think they could have dumped, but on the whole I do like listening to this one, so I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 7 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 2, from 2019, the 41st album, and it's 3 Chords and the Truth. Again, lots of people play on here. So, first track on here is called March Winds in February. Great track. I love the time signature on the drum on this. It's a little bit different, and I do like it. Fang Will Eat the Soul. One of the best vocals of the 10's from Van. Really strong vocal. Dark Night of the Soul. Love the guitar work on this. Another really strong vocal from Van. In Search of Grace, my favourite track on here. It's got a really nice bass line. This really cements this. Everything seems to be focused around it. It's an excellent track. Nobody in Charge, second favourite track on this. It's got that real bluesy feel to it with a little bit of shuffle thrown in as well. You Don't Understand. I think there's a double bass on this. Some sort of muted keyboard on it. It really works. Read Between the Lines, a short little quirky number. It's got some a nice little tempo to it. Does Love Conquer All? I love the bongos on it. There's even a little bit of vibraphone in there as well, mixed in with the keyboards. Pretty good. Early Days, it's got a bit of a boogie woogie piano on it, which is pretty good. Some nice saxophone on that. If We Wait for the Mountains, a nice gentle track. Love the guitar on this. Up on Broadway, it's one of the long tracks, but it's good because it's got a good tempo. It flows well, really good. The title track, 3 Chords and the Truth. It's a real bluesy shuffle song. Great vocal from Van Morrison on that one. Bags Under My Mind, Under My Eyes. Love that harmonica on that. Terrific. Days Gone By, a little bit subdued. The lovely bass line, some nice drums on the brushes, and I love that. Excellent track to end the album with. A pretty solid album. Simple structures, nothing wrong with this one, so I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.3. But my number 1 album from the 2010's is his 34th in total. He released it in 2012, and it's called Born to Sing, No Plan B, and it's his first album of original songs since 2008's Keep It Simple. So there are, we've got Van Morrison on sax, guitar, piano and vocals, Dave Keary on guitars and slide guitar, Paul Moore on bass, double bass, Paul Moran is on Hammond organ and piano and trumpet, Alistair Wright plays the trombone, Christopher Wright plays tenor sax and clarinet, and Jeff Lardner on drums. First track on here is a great little track called Open the Door to Your Heart. It's a very simple arrangement. Nice drums and bass keep the song going, and another fantastic vocal from Van Morrison. My favourite track on here is Going Down to Monte Carlo. It's got a bit of that bossa nova beat to it. I love the trumpet on this. Super little track. Born to Sing, another great track with some lovely trumpet on it. There's a little bit of clarinet in there. Certainly better, of course, than the version on the Duo album. End of the Rainbow, I love this. The piano is fantastic. It's a really nice one. Close Enough for Jazz, which is again much better than the version on the other one. This one's a bit more standard. Mystique of the East, dominated by the keyboard and the guitar on this, really works well together. Retreat in View, not too bad. In Money We Trust, it's a bit long, but it's still a good track. Pagan Heart, a little bluesy number. I love this. The horns are brilliant on it. And the last track, Education Artie, I love the saxophone at the beginning, the keyboard's sort of a nice twinkly sort of thing, and we've got this fine vocal from Van. Pretty good album. There's not a really bad track on here. One of the best albums of this decade, I think. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.5. I think it's probably the best one of the new millennium. So it's not a bad album. Okay, next week we've got the final part, and we're going to look at the albums that he's released in the 2020s. So that is the final part of the Van Morrison story. Coming up next is A Perfect Side. I'm going to do a bit of Susie and the Banshees today, and the great album Kaleidoscope. So join me for that. Bye for now.